mythical stories of horrific happenings on Halloween are common. But there are also plenty of grim story tales which have happened on the annual event. Halloween is a time when we dress up as ghosts and goblins and tell mythical horror tales. But not every horror story from Halloween is made up. Here we give you 8 true-life stories which happened around the spooky annual event. 1. A 9-year-old dressed in a Halloween costume was accidentally shot by a relative who thought she was a skunk. The girl was stood outside her Pennsylvania home during a party when the incident happened. Police said the girl was wearing a black costume and a black hat with a white tassel. A male relative apparently mistook her for a skunk and fired a shotgun, hitting her in the shoulder, arm, back and neck. She was rushed to hospital following the incident at Halloween last year. 2. Ronald Clark O'Brien was executed in the U.S. after killing his 8-year-old son Timothy by poisoning candy with cyanide on Halloween night in 1974. The father, from Pasadena, Texas, had taken out a huge life insurance policy on his 2 children. He gave the poison candy to his son and daughter but also to 4 other children. Only Timothy ingested the candy and died. O'Brien was executed in March 1984. 3. 16-year-old foreign exchange student Yoshihiro Hattori was shot and killed when he attempted to visit a Halloween party in 1992. Yoshihiro was with his fellow exchange student Webb Haymaker when they attempted to get into the house party in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Arriving at the house, they decided to go around the back after receiving no response. But Webb was horrified to discover that Yoshihiro was shot dead by the home's owner, Rodney Pierce, who thought the students were burglars. 4. When locals in Frederica, Delaware saw a body hanging from a tree during Halloween in 2005, they assumed it was a scary decoration. Sadly, they couldn't have been more wrong. It was actually the body of a 42-year-old woman. She had been left hanging from the tree for 3 hours before residents realized it was an actual person. 5. Sadly, there are many Halloween horror stories where people have accidentally hung themselves trying to trick friends and relatives. During a Halloween party in 1990, 15-year-old William Anthony Odem, from North Carolina, accidentally hung himself while staging a dramatic gallows scene. 6. One of the most horrific recent events to happen on Halloween took place in Napa Valley, California, in 2004. Housemates Adrienne Insogna, Leslie Ann Matsara and Lauren Means had spent the evening handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. After going to bed, Lauren woke to the sounds of Adrienne screaming at 2 a.m. She ran outside in horror. But after hearing screaming again, she ran back inside. She then discovered both her friends had been stabbed and were barely alive. She again ran out the house and called 911. Her 2 friends later died. The killer was Adrienne's best friend's fiancé, Eric Koppel, who committed the murders because he was jealous of the friendship between Adrienne and his girlfriend. 7. On Halloween night in 1998, Carl Jackson, 21, went with his girlfriend to pick up her 9-year-old son from a party. As they waited, a group of teenagers started throwing eggs at their car. Jackson decided to get out and speak to the teens. But as he got back into the car, one of them pulled out a gun and shot him in the head. He died at the scene and the killer was never caught. 8. This is perhaps every parent's worst Halloween nightmare. 3 teenage girls were abducted in Woodbridge, Virginia during a night of trick-or-treating in 2009. Aaron Thomas threatened the girls with a gun before sexually assaulting 2 of them. The 3rd girl was able to use her mobile phone to call her mom, which caused Thomas to run away. He was caught 2 years later.